Big show for you today because we got Big Dex, Gervon Dexter joining us right off the top. Plus, we're going to talk to Danny Parkins a little bit later on as well. CHGO Bears starts right now. Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast. It is Thursday, June 12th. Beautiful day in the city of Chicago. Happy U.S. Open weekend to all the golfers out there. Hopefully we're not taking you away from too many golf holes right now, like myself. Hello, Mark Carman. How are you today?
Hey, Adam. How are you? I was very confused. Normally when we walk in, we all sit in a conference room, we get together. I walked in, admittedly, right on time, but the last one to get here today, and there's Hoge on the couch, and I'm like, is Hoge sick? What's going on? And then, oh yeah, there's this golf thing going on. Yeah. So I'm very happy to be doing the show and not watching you doing golf, but more happy with who we get to start the show off today with, because this is one of the keys to the 2025 Chicago Bears, baby. Let's go.
That's right. Let's bring him in right now. Friend of the program, been on a few times before, of course. Gervon Dexter, Bears defensive tackle, joining us right now on CHGO. What's up, Big Dex?
How y'all doing? Appreciate y'all for having me on today.
We are good, man. How are you getting some time to relax here finally? Off-season program over. Got a few weeks off here, I hope, before training camp?
Yeah, I don't usually take too much time off, but yeah, I'm back partially training, recovering, so yeah, I got a little time.
You look like you're on the porch, just having a great start to a Thursday, a little summertime.
Right. For sure, yeah. It's I think it's 90, 80, I think 89 degrees here in Florida, so it feels pretty good out here.
So we got to start at the top because, Big Dex, this interview is about you, but the show, I try to make it about me. And my ability to decipher that you have not spent, you maybe have had some moments outside the weight room this summer, but it doesn't look like many. And I had to ask you about it when you met the media that you've put on some lean mass. Would you say this is the hardest offseason you've ever worked as far as getting yourself ready for the year?
I would say, yeah, for sure. I think, even you know what I'm saying? I think when someone asked me if I put on some weight, I think I said shout out to Coach Pierre, Coach Pierre and conditioning staff, Coach Mark Filippiano. I think if I'm saying his last name correctly, they've done an unbelievable job with just helping me reach some of the things and even creating goals for me and seeing the potential and where I could be at weight wise and body wise. So shout out to them for that as well. But yes, it has been one of the hardest, for sure.
Shout out Gervon Dexter working hard.
Absolutely. Well, how much of that has to do with the scheme change? I know it's not a drastic scheme change, but we talked to Andrew Billings about it last week. There's some different things they're asking you guys to do up front that are a little bit different. Have you had to change your body composition at all just because of what they're asking you to do?
A bit. I would say this defense is you know what I'm saying, defensive line is more, you got to be a little more explosive. Got to be able to come up your hips, got to have power. So with working out and training, gaining power, you get stronger obviously, and then for guys like me, obviously you can see that physically, but as well you'll be able to see it, when you're actually doing football drill. So yeah, I would say yeah, sure.
I thought it was super interesting that the Bears go out, they bring in Grady Jarrett, who I'm assuming you're excited to pair with, but then he gets up there and talks about how in off-season workouts you reached out to him, brought guys together to get to the next level and let's get to know each other. What went into that? How did you where was the motivation and That had to, I'm guessing, be a little bit of a thrill to you to reach out to a vet like that and sort of welcome him and just be in that position.
Right, for sure. So I think, um, I've said it. I think the more, guys hang out outside of the locker room, outside of, just being in the facility together, I feel like that's the better, sometimes the teams are, but as well as like units, right? There's obviously like different groups, different position groups. So like that goes into it as well. So like more like position groups to go to work out together or do stuff together, the closer they are. I feel like a pass rush is one of the, the groups or position groups that need everyone to be doing their job for the one thing to go right. Like a lot of people like sacks or tackle for loss. I feel like obviously the secondary has to do their job, but like up front, like everyone must be in their rush lanes and stuff like that for everything to go right. So I feel like that was one of the key things is getting, with some of the guys during the offseason. And then as well as like for me it was uh, I knew that Grady had kind of been. I mean, obviously he's been in Atlanta his whole career. So even though he's, what I'm saying, I think Grady's on year 11. Even though he had been in the league for 11 years, I knew this would still be something new for him. New team, new city. Bringing his family from different place. So just me being here. Obviously now going in almost 3 years, I'm familiar with the other guys on the team and stuff like that. So just kind of, open it, at least let him know, like, I'm here, like, if he needs me. But then another thing was for me is like, we only had I think that was a couple weeks. We only had a certain amount of time. Obviously, we all will be learning a new scheme all at once. So I wanted to try to get some of those questions that I had for Grady myself out before we will all be like, learning a new system, learning all of that stuff and what we all trying to learn inside of meeting rooms and stuff like that. So it was a mix of different things, and I'm happy he was able to come and get some work in with us.
Can you correct me if I'm wrong? I feel like I saw a video of you guys also, and I'm not sure if I'm 100% sure if you were there, but I swear I saw a video of you guys during the offseason program, like getting extra work in at Carmel Catholic High School nearby in Mundelein too. Like it seemed like you guys are doing more sort of just as a group together to try to continue, just really get in all the work you possibly can before the season.
In high school, we got a group of us got together again as well that day as well. So yep.
What, without going too in the weeds or revealing anything you don't want to, Dex, what did you want to learn from Grady? What type of questions did you have?
I think we're having a little bit of a connection issue with Gervon Dexter.
We're in a bounce back and around and a 1-2.
We'll see if we can. Well,
it's a good solid pause from him right there as he's thinking deeply about the great questions we're answering.
Yeah,
and he'll come on back.
We'll see if he called. Yeah, so let me because I think my question to him got cut off and his answer there. But there was a video that was going around Instagram, a bunch of the D linemen getting together at that high school where I coach. That's why I brought that up.
Hey Dex, I think where we left off, there's and you don't have to reveal anything obviously that you don't want to here. You know this, but just to underline that. And what type of questions though did you have for Grady that you wanted to know, perhaps that people would want to be interested in?
Yeah, it was a lot, man. I'm still asking questions. But yeah, it was just like little stuff. You know what I mean? Like obviously, Grady Jarrett has hit every goal and every like accolade that in my young career that I want to achieve. So just like one of the things was that I asked him from year, like obviously I had a better year in year 2 than I had from year 1, and I think that was the same for him as well. I think Grady each year he had gotten better. So I just asked him like, what was some of the things that you did during the off season, or some of the things that you did during the season to make sure you're constantly improving and staying consistent. So that was one of the biggest things that I had for him for sure.
I love that.
Yeah. So we were. I know there's only so much we can take out of OTAs and minicamp, especially for you linemen. Guys don't have pads on, but. I gotta say, one of my biggest takeaways from the spring practices that we just saw before the break was just how you might fit in really, really well with this scheme and what they're asking you to do, kicking inside of that one technique a little bit more. Am I right to be thinking that way? Because it just seems to me from the outside, Dex, that this might be a better scheme for you.
I gotta kind of fidget how I answer that, but I would say yes. Yeah, I think um, naturally, obviously coming into the league and in college, I played a little more of like that. You know what I mean? That nose position, like that. You know what I mean? That you know what I'm saying, that grind, like nose, you know what I mean? And then after getting drafted here, I kind of transitioned to trying to be like, you know what I mean, a three technique, a penetrator and stuff like that. But I think this defense fits me well. I think it personally it'll be easier for me to make plays and kind of shine in this defense and like you said, it fits me a little more for sure.
I don't want to get too into the stats here either, but do you know where you ranked last year, Dex, in guys hitting the quarterback? You have any idea?
I do. I know for sure. I think it was top five in
Yeah.
quarterback hits, if I'm not mistaken.
You were fourth, 19 QB hits, 5 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 51 tackles. Like when you look back at last year, what makes you most proud, and where do you also, I guess, think I really want to get better in perhaps this category, or just I don't know, something on the field that's not even taken down stat wise.
Right. I feel like personally, I feel like that list alone kind of it's a good thing and a bad thing for me. I feel like because you know what I'm saying, obviously I had 19 quarterback hits and 5 sacks, and I look at it like what in those 19 quarterback hits, what did I do wrong for that not to, you know what I mean, be a sack? So if maybe I personally I would rather it be maybe 13 quarterback hits and 8 sacks, or you know what I mean. So I try to look at those, you know what I mean, some of those lists and figure out how could I make this, you know what I mean, a quarterback hit, a sack, or you know what I mean, a tackle at the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage, and figure out from there. So just just trying to figure out even through success, how can I even get even more better is what I've been doing and learning to do. So
Yeah. I mean, I just thought it's for a guy going in his third year, not that you need a boost in confidence, Dex, but to be in the top 5, number 4, that, regardless, I know you want more sacks, but 19 it's a good number. So congrats on it.
for
What did
sure.
I'm curious, like last year with Billings, I thought he was a huge part of the defense. Then he gets hurt. What did that? How did that impact your year? Him being in there and him being out of there.
Um, it was a lot. I mean, I think he impacted the whole team, obviously. But I think with Big Bill, sometimes playing with a guy like that you get used to playing with, like for example, guys like coaches and guys talk about like you got to trust the person next to you, or like where like after playing with a guy long enough, you know exactly where this person's gonna be at when it happens. So playing with Big Bill consistently, and like I know Big Bill's gonna, you know what I mean, push the pocket, or I know Big Bill in the run, if I get too high, he's gonna overlap me and stuff like that. Just playing with him, you know what I mean, playing those games with him and constantly practicing with him, you know. So then like now when Billings goes down, there's someone new. Obviously you trust everyone, you trust the coaching staff to put everyone in the right position, but still in the back of your head, you don't really know. So you kind of, you know what I mean, fidget around and try to figure it out. But so that was one of the biggest things for me, not having Big Bill out there for the rest of the year.
Hey, so obviously the Bears made some pretty significant changes and upgrades on the offensive line. This is the time of year where you go up against those guys ones versus ones. I understand. Once again, I throw out the caveat: pads are not on yet. We're not in training camp yet. I get that, but what's the biggest thing that you've noticed going up against that interior of the offensive line with those new guys that are up there?
Yeah, I mean, you can see obviously you can see their veterans, and even like you said, we didn't have pass on, and it was just a short period of time. But you really couldn't tell that they hadn't been together that long. But I mean, that was just like I said, a short period of time, and you could tell like they're all veterans, they're all smart, like they all, you know what I'm saying, come with technique every down, and so that was just like I said, a short period of time. That's what I've seen so far.
I want to go back to when you were coming to the league, Dex. They were like, well, this guy would have been taken top 10 if his get off was made better. And like that was like this huge focus. So I'm curious, like as you've gone through year 1 and 2, like how much have you been focusing just on that part of it, and like how much more comfortable do you feel as far as, because some people are like, hey man, you could put Dex on the outside, and I'm like, well, I mean, I'd love to see you play anywhere because I think you're going to be successful there. But like that is the get off spot, if you will, you know. So I'm just curious, like that process of your development.
Honestly, I think coming out, the get off thing, in my opinion, was a bit over. You know what I mean? Overly hyped or overly looked, just because like some of that stuff is what I was kind of being asked to do, if that makes sense. Like like a read and react defense, you don't always need like this, you know what I mean, the quickest get off. So that, you know, and obviously it was something that I knew I needed to get better at regardless. Most of the time the guy who has the best, you know what I mean, get off usually wins. But so it's something I continue to work on. Like I said, it's constant, you know what I mean, never ending improvement. So that's something I'm still working on and still getting better at. So,
Dex, I'll end here on a fun one. My co-host here likes to play tennis, and he's going to make a take later on in the show that tennis players are the best athletes in the world. I don't know if you have an opinion on that, but you might. I don't know. You want to make a case for football players in that conversation?
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I have tried pickleball, and I can't say it's not tennis, pickleball. I'm not sure how they correlate all the way, but I know it's not as easy as it looks. But I'm not sure if we could say best athletes in the world. Um, yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
I'm
I'm
not so
gonna
sure
still
about
go with
that either.
football
Yeah.
players.
I mean, Dex, they were out there for 5.5 hours having a boxing match, tennis match on Sunday. These dudes are hitting high level shots.
How many hits did they take?
Yeah, there's the right. The contact is not you know, like basketball or obviously football, hockey. You're high level in your own world. You don't need to worry about what Hoge just brought up. Although shout out to my tennis people out there. Hey, last one.
Sure.
Last one for me. When you look at last year, and you know I just remember being in the locker room in London, Dex. You guys were 4-2. The offense was humming. It felt like you guys had turned the corner. And then obviously went the other way. When you look back at like sort of where you guys were at one point last year, the way it ended, and where you are coming into this year, new coaching staff, I guess what gives you the most confidence that, yes, we are turning it this year, 2025?
I think we just gotta, you know what I mean, trust the process of, you know what I mean. Obviously, we still got camp and stuff like that, but I think we left off in mini camp on a good note. And to me, it just feels different. Honestly, like the environment feels different. And it feels, you know what I mean. I think Poles and his people put together like a, you know what I mean, a good staff in my opinion. So I don't know, it just feels a little different this year.
Has Ben Johnson yelled at you yet? I saw him. He screamed at Cole Kmet. It scared me. Yeah, he was walking out of the field because I guess Cole lined up wrong. Has he gotten after you?
Not yet. I wouldn't put it like, I wouldn't say I wouldn't be on that list coming in and count, but nah, not yet. He ain't got after me yet.
All right.
Well, hey man, we're looking forward to seeing you at camp. It's I know it's a grind, but we always love when football's back. In the meantime, though, enjoy your time off. Enjoy time with the family, and we'll see you. I don't know, was it 5 or 6 weeks from now? We'll see you then.
And Dex, know that Bears fans love you. When they found out you were coming on today, people were super excited. So they're feeling you in Chicago.
I appreciate it. I love Bears fans as well. Sure.
All right, there he is, Gervon Dexter.
Thanks, Dex.
Joining us here on CHGO Bears, and a little assist,
Appreciate
big assist, I should say, to
Gregory P.
Greg Braggs, even on his vacation, coming through, helping with a guest today.
I mean, the first thing he did today was get on a plane with Addie and Jenny, and the next thing he did, I guess right when he landed, was make sure that Dex was joining us. That's a big time job by him.
It's good.
Do I see somebody in the background ready to go early?
Yeah, you do.
Is that?
Fortunately, we have a break here.
Okay, great.
that we can figure that all out in.
I mean, if he's ready to go, we might as well go to him. But yes, I understand. We do have a break first. I got it.
We do. We'll take a quick time out here. Fun talking to Gervon Dexter. Danny Parkins going to join us, too, on today's show. It's a big one here. CHGO Bears Podcast. But first,
Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. It's a place where the best kind of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and, yes, purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside, everything you need to elevate your summer. They've got 100 strains to choose from. Plus, they make it easy to order online. It's right there for you. Visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including, pay attention, 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter that promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day. Only for 21 and older or Illinois medical card holders. And for existing users, use that promo code CHGO50 for 50% off one Cresco Labs brand item. Sunnyside.shop.
and just like your favorite team needs a home court or home field or home ice advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage. Empire Today can help you get it. Empire Today has flooring experts. That's experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. You've all been to those big box stores. You got the endless aisles, and then you're bringing all those materials home. Then you got to find somebody to install it, and you're coordinating everything yourself. Empire Today can take care of all of that for you with their home floor advantage. Pick the right flooring, the right colors for your space. See how it looks with your furniture in your house. Get precise measurements taken and all your questions answered so there are no surprises. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners can receive a $350 discount with using promo code CHGO. That's right, $350 discount with code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details. All right, we got Danny Parkins coming up in a few minutes, but first we are going to take the temp. Of course, taking the temp is brought to you by your trusted local experts at Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. Today we are taking the temp on the Chicago Bears schedule. I find it interesting, depending on what type of strength of schedule you look at. There's a lot of different ways to look at it. One of my least favorite ways of looking at it is last year's win percentage, because the league changes. Like, there's some validity in that, but a lot of things change. I don't think it's a very good predictor of how 2025 is going to go. But if you're going to go that way, the Bears have the second hardest schedule. I think a better way to look at it is Vegas. It's a place where they do a lot of gambling.
Yep.
If you look at Vegas win totals, the Bears have the 7th hardest schedule. The Lions are 3rd, the Vikings are 5th, the Packers are 10th. The reason I'm bringing all this up, there's a lot of different, you see strength of schedule all the time in the summer. Yes, it matters a little bit. But my big takeaway of all of that is they play in the NFC North. Yep, they have a hard schedule because of that.
Right. Well, 4 of the top 7 are from the North. The Giants have the toughest if you go by win percentage at 574. Then the Bears and the Lions are 571, so that's tied for second, 2 and 3. Then the Eagles, then the Cowboys, and then 6 and 7 Packers and Vikings, 557. And of course, you had 15 win Detroit, 14 win Minnesota, and those teams are now terrible because the Lions have lost everyone, their center, their coordinators, and Minnesota's starting a quarterback who barely threw the football in college. So we're going to have a massive regression. I think we probably should bring in our guest along those lines and then figure it out on the back end from that, if that's okay. So from the great morning show that I'm starting with my morning every day, you should do the same thing. Breakfast Ball on Fox Sports 1, formerly of the New Trier radio station, and also I believe he was on the Score for about, a decade plus, whatever it was. Danny Parkins joining us. How long was it? I forget the exact
It was like
nice attention to detail there, Carm, on the intro.
6 years, right?
WNTH is the call letters of the Nutria radio station. Thank you very little. It was about 8 years on the score. Yeah,
it's right there.
2017. Yeah, to late 2024. So 7 years and 9 months or whatever. But details and facts were never your strong suit. How are you? Hoge, good to see you.
I'm great. Love to see you. Thank you for being on. And I want you to promote your radiothon because you're going to be back on the score coming up. But before we get there and before we talk Bears, it was first Spiegel and Parkins, then it was Mack and Parkins and Mack, and then it was Parkins and Spiegel. Is that right? Do I have that right?
You have that correct. Yes, Spiegel and Parkins, McNeil and Parkins, and then Parkins and Spiegel, which we always said Parkins and Spiegel. Very different show than Spiegel and Parkins. Very different.
It was.
It was way better.
Yeah. Well, listen, working with Tanny, who's the best in the business, and Shane, who is in the business. No, I'm just kidding. I love Shane. And I had gotten more comfortable in Chicago, and the score audience had come around to me, and Spiegs and I had our chemistry. Yeah, Parkins and Spiegel was better than Spiegel and Parkins. I agree.
I did see Shane, by the way, at softball the other day. I don't know if you guys are aware, but we've beaten Shane in the softball finals the last couple of years with my amazing team of softball players. That a couple of them actually work here, but. Your
team of ringers. It's shameful.
Well, they're friends of mine. But at any rate, and I know that Shane's gonna have a zillion.
The media league isn't friends of yours. It's supposed to be people who work at the media company.
But they're media friends.
If we're being honest, 90% of the league is people that used to work in the business.
Yeah, I mean everyone's gotten.
That's a reflection of the business.
It's a sham of a league, of a sham of a whatever. And I just decided that I would win it because some people in media think they're good at sports, and I know that they're not. So I just had to put that. I just had to put that down on them. Like, you think you're good, but you're clearly not. So everybody needs to learn that. Long story long here. I just told Shane, and I know he's got a million offers, and he's probably going to be running some media company somewhere. But I love him doing Des Moines mornings. That is, I think that's I always, before I, accelerated life, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to host a morning show in the middle of Iowa so I could talk every single sport out there because that's what they do there. I think that's a great gig. I don't know if it pays well. I'm sure it doesn't, but but I would, but in theory, if it did, I would.
When a Carm thought it takes off fine, and then there's a little bit of turbulence on takeoff, and then he doesn't know where he's landing. And then you can see it working through in his head. And he's like, I would love this. And you can talk about any sports. And Des Moines is great. And cost of living. And he's like, I wonder if it doesn't pay any well. And then you just crashed into a ditch. Yeah. You got there. You got there at the end, Carm. Good call by you.
It's a good way to put it. He doesn't know where the thought's landing. And then it landed in Des Moines somehow.
That's right.
Point being.
Do you have any questions for our guest?
I do. Parko. All right, we'll get to the radiothon in a minute. Let me ask you this. Fair expectations in your mind. We'll do Caleb 1, Bears 2. Caleb, year 2. Give your, I know you're repping them nationally and you're talking them up and all the things, but what do you think fair expectations are for Caleb Williams in year 2 in the NFL with the Chicago Bears?
More across the board. So he completed 62.5% of his passes. It should be 65% or more. He had 20 touchdowns. It should be more. He had 3,700 yards and change, 3,800 yards and change. It should be more. 6 interceptions. It should be more because they should be throwing the ball downfield and taking more chances and going for more big plays. So, the only thing it can't be more of is losses in games played because he played 17 games. And obviously less than 68 sacks. So I would sign right now for, the first 4,000 yard season, the first 30 touchdown season, sub 50 on sacks, I think, because he's going to be a high sack guy. I don't think that he's ever going to be a super, he's not going to have like a Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, he's never going to flirt with like a single digit sack season. That's not his, or not at least for like a decade. So I think Bears fans kind of wrap their heads around. They probably have a quarterback who takes sacks, but more across the board. I would expect improvement in every direction.
How closely have you been able to follow kind of the normal OTA mini camp hype that basically comes out of all 32 teams this time of year? But I guess more specifically, I'm asking you just like how closely you've been able to follow the Ben Johnson effect already, and how much do you believe in it?
I believe in it a lot. I follow it very closely. Not as closely as you guys. I'm not listening to every press conference of every player, but I am listening to all of the Ben Johnson press conferences in totality. And, I still subscribe to The Athletic, and, I'm still on social media. So I think I'm consuming not as much as if I was doing afternoons at the Score, but I'm consuming a large amount of it. And, I mean, I'm not going to say that I have, like, consistent communication with the man, but, he's been on the show. I advocated for him. I obviously know people at the Bears, both who play and in the front office. Stink has a good relationship with Ben Johnson and texts with him fairly regularly. And Ben Johnson knows that I'm the Bears fan on the show and that those thoughts are getting relayed. So, like, I've got some insight into some of the behind the scenes thoughts that are not into the microphone. And I'm a huge believer in it, man. Like, now listen, in fairness, I was a believer in Matt Nagy. And I'll defend the thought process in hiring Matt Nagy. I think that thought process is, generally speaking, the correct one that you want to go on. But what Ben Johnson has that Matt Nagy doesn't is there's no Andy Reid. So he was the play caller. Matt Nagy wasn't, even though they pretended like he was. And he was the top offensive guy. Now, Dan Campbell was the culture guy, the aggressiveness guy, but I think Ben Johnson is going to be the go for it on fourth down, analytics forward person. But he's tough. He's detail oriented. He calls you out. He coaches you hard. And I think the players are, from what I've been able to gather, both publicly and a little bit privately, I think they're responding to it well, and I think they think that it's needed.
I agree.
I mean, we just had Dex on. See, I don't want to go crazy, but it just feels different around here.
But again, like you guys have been around long enough. Like, it felt different early Nagy too.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he hasn't lost a game yet. Matt Nagy press conferences year 3 were different than Matt Nagy press conferences year 1. They got worse. Like, so I'm not sitting here saying, the guy is Bill Walsh, but I think this is going to work. And I think it's going to work fast.
Dude, let's go. Like, we can go inside the business a little bit on that. Like, I have been admittedly struggling with that myself. Like, I've been through this before. I've been through this with multiple, like 5-6 different regimes, whatever it's been. And every time you're like, oh, it feels different because there's always a honeymoon period. But this really does feel different from all those other times. Like, it's because like you're admittedly, you're trying to give people the benefit of the doubt, because they haven't yet done anything to not deserve that until something goes terribly wrong, right? But when we talk about attention to detail, when we talk about him yelling at Cole Kmet in a practice, or like whatever it is, like, these are definitely things that are different from first-year head coaches I've seen come through the building in the past.
Yeah, I'll defer to you on that. Like, I've not been on the practice field with all of these different coaches like you have. But again, I've covered it and been close to it and talked to enough guys that I think I've got a pretty good grasp of it. But I've been joking that if this doesn't work, it'll get me to believe in curses, because this is like, I mean, honestly, like, so much of what they've done have been the things that I've advocated for. Like, I was, Caleb number 1. It was better for them to lose out a couple of years ago than, like, gain valuable experience in winning, which is, like, one of my favorite me versus the Bears establishment media arguments ever. Like,
shut up, Biggs.
Yeah, Wiederer, Biggs. Yeah. I've enjoyed being very right on that. Like, I really like how right I am on that. I really think they would have been better if they would have won 5 games 2 years ago. I think it would have really helped. I would have rather not been in this situation. Forest through the trees. But, like, I think while Ryan Poles has obviously had missteps, obviously, and my biggest gripe with him, which we talked about on the show, which I talked about on the Score every day, there's probably 100 hours of me giving takes on it. It was completely insane to give Eberflus Caleb. It was completely insane. I first guessed that. But even that, I don't think Ben Johnson comes here 2 years ago. He said he wouldn't have. Like, he said he felt like he had unfinished business in Detroit. So even that, I'm happy with the coach that they ended up getting for Caleb, even if it was a year too late to get him an offensive coach. So, yeah, man, I'm very bullish on the whole thing because people keep saying, also, sorry, I'm rambling. I'm doing a Carm question as a take.
It's great. I love it.
Like, I still feel like people are debating if Caleb is good. That is, to me, ridiculous. Like, he's objectively good. If you can have a better than 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio while taking 68 sacks and your play caller gets fired 9 games into your rookie year and then your coach gets fired after that, like with the state of that offensive line, he's objectively good. And now the question is going to be, does he plateau? Is he inconsistent? And how great can he be? But I don't think there's a world where Trevor Lawrence got a second contract and Daniel Jones got a second contract. Like, I will be floored if we're spinning the quarterback carousel again 3 years from now. Floored.
No, I look, I've been saying on that topic, if to me, I feel like the worst case scenario is a Trevor Lawrence type situation where he gets the contract, but they're still kind of like, I don't know if we should have paid him all that money type thing.
We might be debating if it's a good contract.
Right.
But I don't think we will be debating on whether or not it is worth it to keep investing and building around the talent, right? Like Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, like there are guys like that where you give them the contract and then you kind of grit your teeth a little bit. But like, I think this coach quarterback combo is going to be here a while.
Well, one of the takes I've had on this show is I think last year was the floor. How could it not be the floor? The 68 sacks, the awful coaching he had, and all this stuff. So, like, it's just kind of going along with what you're saying. It's got to get better. The question is, how much better will it get? Will it be a little bit better? Will this kind of be where, or will it be considerably better?
Carm thinks he sucks.
No, I know.
Okay.
Don't say it on the air, though.
All right. First of all,
Let's say it on the air. Carm thinks Caleb Williams stinks.
Okay. Let's talk this through in a more rational fashion. I don't think he sucks. I think there is still a debate of whether or not he's going to be the answer. Okay.
Yeah. No shit.
Well, but you just stamped him. You just
hold on a second. I gave an opinion. Like, there's a debate on whether or not he's going to be the answer. Yeah, no kidding, dude. They got to play more games. He's played 17 games. We haven't seen him in a playoff game yet. But like, do you think he's good at quarterback?
I don't know. I'm not sure. You can't hold the ball and run around and get 6 sacks 68 times. He had his stats last year on holding the ball way too long, period. Half those sacks could – well, okay, it's hard to play in the NFL. I asked Ben Johnson pointedly this week, Parco. I said, do you think that if he plays on schedule, if Caleb plays on schedule, he will take off? And Ben's answer was, well – the receiver's got to be there too. And by the way, Ben's been pretty damn direct with his answers. And that one, he kind of lumped them all together. So I'll tell you what I'll be looking for this year, and I'll have you put a Parkins percentage on it. What is the chance that when they get to week 6 or week 7, sometime after the bye, they got the bye early, that these two, Ben and Caleb, are not exactly simpatico, and we start to hear some language along the lines that it's going to be pretty rocky before they dock the boat, if they ever dock it. What percentage would you put on that?
Wow, hadn't even considered it. Like, that would be crazy. The idea of like that would be bad. Because they didn't elope with either of these guys. Like Ben Johnson is getting paid 8 figures to coach a football team, and Caleb Williams was the number 1 pick in the draft. So we have, as Bears fans, I would say, at an absolute minimum, 34 more games of those two being together, right? Like there's no scenario in which Ben Johnson is one and done, and there's no scenario in which they move on from Caleb Williams after his first year with Ben Johnson. So if 6 games in, we're just straight up like these guys don't get along and they're taking shots at each other in the media, like that would be a disaster. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not saying shots either. I'm just saying like the answers start to get a little awkward, so it's obvious that they're not on the same page. That's what I'm saying. I don't think they're. I don't think. I'm not predicting anyone firing anyone.
That's some soap opera stuff. Like maybe, but like Caleb he's pretty polished up there, man. He's pretty polished.
What?
You don't think he's polished at the press conference?
Marco, he says 8,000 times to get through an answer. I'm not giving him polished. I'm not saying he's not going to put himself in trouble, but I don't know, polished. I can't, come on.
No, but hold on. He says He says That's not a thing. He says As long the problems are
Hoge now.
This is what I deal with every day, Danny.
No, but
who
come
cares
on.
if he says that's not what he's talking about.
I'll tell you who. Listen, when you watch him do a press conference and you imagine him in front of the room leading his dudes.
Hold on a minute.
Hold on a minute.
How did you think he did in the press conference when you guys all asked him the questions about the Wickersham book? Good job.
I thought that was one of his better press conferences.
Yeah, it was flawless. What? I'm not even kidding. Like and by the way, I think I was more critical of Caleb for that than a lot of the Chicago media from what I saw. Like my take on that stuff was like all Bears fans related to it. All Bears fans could understand it. We would all want our father to do that for us. Totally fair. My thing was I have no idea why he went on the record and said I was considering nuking the city. Like he could have left that part out. That didn't strike me as necessary to like after he was a Bear and after he had decided he was like, yeah, and by the way, my finger was on the button. Like I didn't think that was necessary. And frankly, I thought you guys could have asked more questions about like what that would have looked like. Like, what was your plan? Like, because the reporting was that he called the Mannings and that he was ready to nuke the city. Like, what would that have looked like? So, but regardless, like, I thought he handled that really damn well based on the questions that were asked. And grading press conferences, I don't care that much about it. Like, he is crazy talented. This coach is crazy accomplished as a play caller. Everybody in the world said they need to upgrade on the lines. There's 3 new offensive linemen and 2 new defensive linemen, plus a new toy that nobody really thought was going to happen. So clearly the coach, who we all trust, wanted this toy. Worried about Luther Burden. My guy at Missouri said that he's the most talented football player they've ever had, but that there were some like love of the game questions. And that's already, is he 100%er? Ben Johnson calling him out in this most recent press conference. Don't love that he's not on the field right now, but like crazy speed. Like cynicism right now about the Bears is only based on like history and scars. I don't think it's really based on anything that they're doing in the present, unless you're just looking to bitch and moan about something.
I agree with that.
I mean, yes, and they just haven't won in forever. So it's
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like if your answer is
but it's not
the uniform is cursed and my cynicism is well earned, like Cubs fan in 2014. Okay, fine. Like I can't argue with you. If that's how you want to fan, that's how you want to fan. But like in a vacuum, can anyone say they're not supporting Caleb Williams right now?
No, that's of course.
Can anyone say Caleb Williams isn't talented?
No, but if you wanted to get in the weeds on that, like who's playing left tackle, who's getting to the quarterback, what's the running? Who is the running back room going to be?
It's a perfect team. I'm not saying it's a perfect team. I'm saying like they should be pretty good. Like they what they are doing makes sense. Like it is an A to B to C like progression. Like if you play poker and you're executing a bluff, you want what you do pre-flop and on the flop and on the turn to tell a consistent story so you can execute the bluff on the river. Like they're doing something that makes sense, right? Like the Lions had an awesome offensive line. They went out and got 3 new interior offensive linemen for Ben Johnson. Makes sense. Lions ran a ton of 12 personnel. They went out and got a second tight end. Makes sense. Like, Matt Eberflus had no idea what the hell he was doing. They got a guy who does. Makes sense. Like, I feel like this. I don't know how anyone could have a problem with the plan.
I'm not disagreeing. I could poke at things like perhaps maybe draft the tight end that everybody thought was the number one tight end versus the guy that's got a shoulder injury.
That's dumb. That's a dumb thought.
Why is that a dumb thought? Most people thought Tyler Ward was better than Colson Loveland.
Who?
NFL draft experts, most of them had Warren rated high. Dane Brugler?
Yeah, no, none of them know anything. None of them know. No, hold on a minute. That is just an empirical fact. None of them know anything. What we do around the NFL draft, and by the way, I do it too, but what everybody does around the NFL draft is they look at Dane Brugler and Mel Kiper and Todd McShay and Matt Miller and whoever your favorites are. And if the consensus ranking is that they've got a guy as the 6th best player in the draft and your team gets him at 9, you're like, we got to steal. And if you draft a guy at 9 who their consensus ranking was 15, we're like, they reached. But no one ever is like, what did the 32 general managers have? Like, did the 32 general managers have Warren over Loveland? Or does anybody have any clue? No one has any clue.
Forget about that part of it. And I hope he's going to be great. And I know you got to go, and we got to do things too. But
I don't have to go anywhere. I like yelling at Carman about the Bears.
They drafted a tight end who's skinny and has a shoulder injury. Does that not strike you as at least slightly concerning at number 10 overall? I don't know. If I had the 10th overall pick, I might not take the guy who can't get on the field right now. Maybe he'll be okay down the line. But it's a little bit like, I don't know. Maybe you guys are draft gurus. I trust you. But since you drafted Velus Jones, I don't.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Fred Counsell has more power than Jed Hoyer, right? He makes more money. Who makes more money, Ben Johnson or Ryan Holt?
If you're saying that this pick was Ben's, okay.
It objectively was.
Okay. I won't push back on that.
Hired the guy who ran more 12 personnel than any team in the league, and they drafted another tight end. Do you think it was Bolts' pick?
That's fine. I will concede that point. If you think this is a Ben pick, and it probably was, that's great. You got to promote the radio with that, but I do have to ask you one more question.
No. We have to take a break.
Oh, okay, then we'll do it.
Mark.
Okay.
So, Danny, if you'll hang on
a second
for literally 2 minutes.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Yeah. No, I'll hold so everyone can hear me plug the charity. That's the best way to get all of the audience to listen.
No, I want to know about the boxes behind you. They're holding for that.
The boxes too.
And I'll make fun of Carm some more, so that'll keep the audience.
There we go. Thank you.
I'm enjoying that. I'm a great. I am the audience right now. All right, we got more coming up with Danny Parkins, but first. The time has come to get some new golf clubs. That's right. That means one thing. Head over to your local PXG store for a fitting. Do what I did because they make the best golf clubs, period. It's the fastest way to improve your performance on the golf course with the PXG fitting. I went to the Northbrook location, got it done. They figured out the shafts, the club head, everything. They measured the speed. All of a sudden, a 200-yard 5-iron just going right down the middle. Maybe had a little wind behind my back on that one. Schedule your fitting today, and for a limited time, you could save up to 20% off your entire order. The fitters at PXG, highly trained, incredible experience, have a deep understanding of how to optimize your clubs to get the most out of your swing. So head on over to pxg.com/CHGO. That's pxg.com/CHGO to save up to 20% off on your entire order. pxg.com/CHGO. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
I love your golf game. Ray Auto CDJ. Our new vehicles are in store at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. This is your chance to score a great deal at the Employee Pricing Plus Sales event. This is sweet. Go to Ray CDJR on Route 12 today. Huge inventory, new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. You can lease the new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn for only $419 a month, $419 for 36 months, or you can finance at 1.9% for 72 months. That's sweet. Of course, they got 125 vehicles priced under $20,000 as well. Ray Price Promise, you know that. You can shop confidently, no add-ons, no hidden fees ever. For more information, visit Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com. Shout out to Ray Scarpelli.
Danny Parkins quickly climbing the list of our most popular guests because of how much he's going at Mark Carman and exposing.
I mean, the guy only has bad thoughts. It's a remarkable bad thought percentage.
You know, it is hard being as intelligent as I am and always being right and just nobody knowing it until it just happens like down the line and then I get no credit for it. That's okay. Parko, aren't you don't you have a big job at hosting Breakfast Ball for Fox Sports 1? I think you've moved, but yet there's these boxes behind you. Like shouldn't like there be some elite human being that's unpacking those for you and have them in position?
Well, I paid for Packers. This is my not unpackers. And it's my second home in Westchester County since I've been in New York. So because our first high priced rental wasn't good enough. So I'm in my second slightly higher priced rental, which is balling. Like Carm, when you come out for the US Open, in whenever that is, a couple months, you gotta make a trip out to Westchester so you can see the house and see the kids. And Hoge, you're obviously welcome anytime. I just know Carm always comes for the tennis, but yeah, there's the house. The house is very nice, but we just moved last week, so yeah, not totally unpacked yet.
August 25th, Parko, right after Camp Nebagamon, when I take the month of August off in the middle of training camp that Hoge loves.
Yeah, nothing's happening in August ever in the football world.
Yeah, so you can actually have good thoughts, Hoge. Yeah. It'll be fine. You'll be fine. And then he comes back into the games, and then he's like, right. You're calling.
All right, that's rude.
I'm just kidding. You're the
listen, you're not. That's what separates us. It's along with 500 other things.
It's fine. The Radiothon,
underappreciated person in Chicago media. I've always said that. You make every show better.
Thank you so much. All right, let's talk about the Radiothon. It's July 31st, and you're going to be on the air for 24 straight hours at the Score. Is that right?
That is right. Thank you. So it'll be the third time we've done this at the Score. This will be the second Cubs for a Cure Radiothon. The first one was 5 years ago now, where we funded the construction of the grocery store. Me and Sam Accio partnered up with that. Austin Harvest, still running strong over in Austin with kids working the food mart a few days a week, year round now, because we funded that. $670,000 raised. Then last year, in honor of my brother Brad, who passed away from glioblastoma, which is terminal brain cancer, $554,000 raised. And this year we're trying to beat that number. And so I'll be broadcasting for 24 hours starting at 10 a.m. on July 31st, going until 10 a.m. on August 1st to kick off Cubs for a Cure weekend. We'll be bringing the iconic Stand Up to Cancer moment to Wrigley again, just like we did last year. So they'll stop the game on Saturday, and there'll be 38,000 placards at Wrigley. You know, I stand for, fill in the blank. Craig Counsell stood and said, I stand for Brad, because he grew up with my brother Brad. They were childhood best friends. So it's a thing that I do in partnership with the Cubs and the Score. And so anyone can donate, cubsforcure.com, but you can also wait for the day of the Radiothon, because, your dollars will be matched. We'll have corporate sponsors and things like that. And so, I'd love, the Cubs show and the CHGO community to get involved. And if there's anyone out there, who's listening right now or has a business or is just a high net worth individual, wants to make some donations, you can sponsor an hour basically for $10,000. And, you get a ton of mentions on a 50,000 watt number one ranked radio station. You'll get social media promotion, and you get a tax write-off, and you get to know what's I'm very proud. Like last year, Ryan Sandberg announced that he was cancer free. We have patients in. Eddie Olczyk came in and told his story. There were a lot of really powerful moments, and there will be again this year. But, one of the things that I'm really proud about, and I know you guys got to go, so I appreciate the free plug. People can just hit me up in my DMs, or they can email 670radiothon@gmail.com, but Instagram, Twitter, I'm easy to get to. Reach out to Carm. He can get you in touch with me. But you do a lot of these charity events, and there's expenses attached to them, right? Like I'm a part of a 5K over at Brain Up, and it's great, but there's expenses, permits, security, T-shirts, the website, all that stuff. Everything for the Radiothon is donated. So when I say we raised $554,000 to cancer research, $554,000 went to cancer research. So everything is 100% donated. And so there's no cost that we have to offshoot. And so I'm just really proud of it. And hopefully we do it for the next, 50 years. So that's what so it's in my Fox contract that I get off from my Fox show to come back to Chicago to do the fundraiser. So July 31st, I appreciate you letting me plug it.
And you literally started out at New Trier doing this, by the way, back in the day, didn't you?
That is true. My senior year, we raised like a little over $15,000 for tsunami relief. Every after school program needed to do something for the senior class project. We had Mike Greenberg on, Harry Tynowitz, Craig Counsell, and my favorite, Rod Blagojevich, before he was a criminal.
Yes.
Rod Blagojevich, the governor, called into the high school radiothon, and I asked him questions about budgets and why he didn't live in the governor's mansion when I was in high school.
See,
True
that
story.
sounds awesome, but that guy would do any show for free, if we're being honest. He would call the WGN postgame show. We'd be sitting there and he would call.
It wasn't that tough of a get. That's true.
No. I'm just saying. I just want to tell a Blago story.
He was available.
Because he would call the office, not like the call-in line. Like he had the sports line, and I would pick up, and he'd be like, "Oh, this is the governor." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
He's like, I just want to let you know I'm going to call in the Cap show, when this game's over. I'm like, okay.
That's incredible. And someone just I don't know what you guys call it, commented in or twitched in or whatever your comments are running. There's I want the appearance or the golf with Dempster. That's the other thing. If you listen during the day, opportunity to throw out a first pitch, sweet tickets, autograph memorabilia, visit Pat and Ron during the booth when they're calling an inning, unbelievable experiences and things that you just that you can't buy in a store. That it's hey, if you make a $200 donation, you get this. If you make a $500 donation, you get this. You make a $20 donation, you get this. So lots of cool things if you're listening to The Score July 31st.
Danny, I'll reach off, off air, obviously, ways we can help. It's a great cause. Would love to get involved. I am loving the idea, though, of CHGO sponsoring an hour on The Score. I think Mitch Rosen would love that.
Okay, so here's the thing. For this day and this day only, no one messes with me. All that stuff kind of goes away. So you might be surprised at what you could get me to say on The Score.
And I think I'm probably okay with saying what I'm about to say now, but Mitch wasn't necessarily wild about anybody coming on here. And Parko, when he was working there, would just do it. He's like, what is he going to do? And I was like, that's why I love that guy. It was really good.
There is some truth to that.
Yeah. That
First truth thing Carman said.
let me, before you go, because you love takes, so let me just try this one out on you, because I think
that should go well. Yeah, go ahead.
This is usually our walk off the set. Danny.
Well, so and I have to admit that I'm stealing this, which is probably at least 46% of my takes. But I was listening to Andy Roddick's new podcast, which is taking off in the tennis world, which name escaping me right now. It doesn't matter. Roddick, of course, the last American to win a Grand Slam title.
Again, Danny, the details.
Yeah, minor detail. But he made the point, and I thought it was a good one, and an unpopular one. It's called "Served" with Andy Roddick. Thank you very much, Stephen.
Great podcast.
It's he's killing it. He's getting all their numbers are enormous. But anyway, the point is this.
What is your question?
The point is this. He made the point that after watching the French Open final, Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner, 5 hours and 34 minutes of tennis of a complete insane level, that tennis players are the best athletes in the world. And I've long had this thought, but I just haven't had the little wind in my sails just to put it out there where actually there's a little bit of momentum. You are by yourself. We are in the overtime period. By the way, become a diehard. It's a great choice.
Where is this plane landing?
It's landing.
Iowa again?
Don't worry about where it's landing.
Just continues online. Isn't this entire thing online?
I've never understood that one either.
Just don't worry.
There?
Don't worry about that detail.
You're
interrupting. You're interrupting the tennis talk. Look, playing tennis, you have to have elite endurance. You have to have high-level skill. You are out there by yourself. There is nowhere to run to. The conditions change every single. I'm playing on clay. I'm playing on grass. I'm playing on hard courts. I'm playing against somebody on the other side of the net who is
trained. Let him respond. He gets your point.
The best athletes in the world are tennis players, Parco. You want to push back on that?
Can you play tennis at 80?
Not well?
Yeah, but then they're not the best. If you can do it at 80, you're not the best. Sorry.
You can.
You can't play football at 80. Can't be done.
You're gonna say that football players are the best athletes? Come on.
I think that the point that I saw made during that broadcast and that match on social media, which was an incredible match and compelling theater, of the fact that you're out there for 5 hours, there's no timeouts, there's no coaching, it's all on you, and it's mano a mano. I think that is a compelling argument for a tennis player to make. Like Andy Roddick coming out and being like, you know who the best athletes are? Tennis players. That'd be like if I came on and was like, you know what the toughest job in media is? 2 hours of national morning television. That's the toughest job. It's the toughest job. No one's really willing to tell you how tough it is to be professionally driven into work with a wardrobe department and a makeup department and 10 producers and give 2 hours of takes with 2 other professionals and an expensive budget and graphics and video and research. It's the toughest job. It's the toughest job.
But in actuality, the toughest job in media is doing a show without all of those things you just listed next to Carm for an hour.
But
but it's just an hour. So what is funny? What is funny is that I will, as I am being self-deprecating about the TV show, and I love making fun of Carm, is that I actually do believe that the hardest job in media is the job that I did before. I actually do believe, in sports media, hosting a 4-hour daily show that's good, and I'll also throw in the ability to do it solo. That is hard. Like whoever replaces Dan Patrick, that's a tough job. Like Colin Cowherd has a tough job. 15 hours a week of solo takes that also gets ratings that appeals to the entire country. That's a tough job. There's no editor like a columnist or a newspaper writer. There's no script like a television reporter at night. There's, it's more than whatever your guys' schedule is. An hour a day. Get the hell out of here. This is overtime.
This is a tough gig, Parco. Slow down.
Yeah, you're stealing.
For 4 hours now. Now I was watching golf for 2.5 of those hours, but I've been in
there. You have a foosball table 9 feet from where you're sitting right now. You don't have a hard job.
We upgraded to Papa Shot.
We added a Papa Shot. It's awesome.
Yeah, your job's hard.
Well, right, but to get to this job was very difficult.
Carm still does Northwestern basketball stats or whatever he does.
Yeah, but that's just because he wants to sit courtside for free. He's not actually.
That's another tough gig. I have to talk for 2 minutes in the middle of the halftime. And
that's not a job. Get out of here.
Carm's like, I really need to sit courtside for Northwestern basketball. Meanwhile, the guy who's sitting in the seat behind him paid $6 for the ticket. He's like, I get in for free.
That's slander to the Wilson Club. Those people pay a lot of money. That's all you can eat, all you can drink right behind me. You will take that back. That's unfortunate that you would say that. Danny, all right, last one. We will let you go officially.
Jesus Christ, you asked me for 15 minutes. I've been on here for 40.
Sorry,
what do you need? Your show is over. What else can I do?
He does this every day to me too. I would end it in 5 minutes ago.
What else can I do for you?
Last one. What position? Where do the Bears finish in the North? Who's winning it? Then you can leave.
I'm not answering that. Have me on again in training camp or before the season. Yes. That's what you gave me the hold on a second. The most generic, basic. Hoge, have a nice day.
Danny, I would like to apologize to you.
I don't
appreciate
think
your time.
I think it's very interesting. I'm really fascinated by your take on it, but we will do it another time.
We're doing it another. No, it's funnier. It's funnier for me to disregard you. It's funny. Can we end on the joke, please?
Yeah.
Can we end
see
on
you
the
later.
joke?
Do what I do and just hang up. It's the best way.
Right,
get the boxes. Get somebody over there. Don't unpack those yourself.
Yeah. What's up, buddy? Why am I screaming? Because I'm yelling at Carm. All right, Owen says bye. See you, Carm.
Hey, Owen.
See you guys.
Right. Love to the family, man. All right. Danny Parkins. What you just did to him was honestly professionally ridiculous.
Why?
You asked him for 15 minutes, and he was sitting there for 45.
That wasn't.
10 of those minutes were on him, though. He showed up early.
He had a great time. He loved it. He'll probably come back again someday.
I don't know.
The funny part on the packing, by the way, okay, we don't need to go down. What do you look? Are you distracted right now? Do we have to go? Is something happening? Sarah's here, lurking on us. No,
I don't know. This show went off the rails
we're good.
A long time ago.
This is one of the better shows we've ever done.
It was a pretty good show. It was the least organized one we've done in 4 months.
I wore the socks to give my sock take. Do you want to push back on my tennis take?
I feel the same way as him. I just don't care. like if you honestly,
Steven said before the show swimming.
And I stand by it. You use every single muscle. There's tons of endurance involved.
And your face is in water, which you can't breathe.
You're fighting against a current.
Look,
Sarah,
if you honestly want to dismiss football players, I would throw hockey players in there too. Like, do you understand how good these athletes are? Like,
I do. Really, 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 really good. Yes. The most exclusive country club on the planet, professional athlete. These are the elite of the elite of the elite.
But I'm talking about football players. Like Andrew Billings is like 300 pounds, and he moves like a gazelle. It's unbelievable.
Andrew Billings' job, with all due respect to Andrew Billings and anybody else who plays on the offensive line or defensive line in the NFL, is to crash into somebody 80 times a day, 50 times a game.
Thank you for making my point. You just diminished his actual athleticism and everything it takes to get off the ball and be strong enough to take those hits repetitively every single play for 3 hours. He played tennis for 5 hours.
Yes, every other day for 2 weeks. Unless he smoked somebody. Football plays 17 games. Now, it's a car crash every Sunday.
Which proves that the recovery is not even close to what it is. Honestly, that's why hockey players impress me at times even more than football players, because they sometimes have back-to-back games.
What position on the NFL field requires the most athleticism?
What position? Left tackle.
Really?
Yes.
Steven, you want to push back on that?
Probably go wide receiver. I mean, think about you've got to run all the way down the field. You don't get thrown to. You got to turn around and run back.
But that's endurance. That's different.
Catch football, going very fast, oblong.
Hand-eye coordination. There's a lot that goes into that.
I think if you really, actually the best way to visualize this might be to take the 10 best left tackles in the NFL and put them on a basketball court and play 5-on-5. And I think it would blow your mind at how athletic they are.
Well, Travis Hunter is in that photo. Bo Jackson is in that photo.
Cornerback's a really good answer, by the way.
Cornerback's way up there. I mean, I would have said linebacker because they're huge and they're fast and they got to kill you.
That's every position.
You don't. You pick the line. They don't have to move outside of a 6-yard radius. At least up, I understand they're side to side too, but whatever. Anyway, the point is, shout out to tennis, the true athletes.
That's the point. Shout out to tennis.
That's the point.
That's the
point. Shout out Andy Roddick. Shout out tennis.
The point is it's Thursday, and Carm has not had a chance to talk about Carlos Alcatraz or whatever the hell his name is Sunday.
Sarah Fichter. Carlos Alcaraz made Sarah Fichter like tennis. Our MVP of the softball team. Take that, Hoge. Take that. And you guys could talk all the swimming and water polo and everything else. 5.5 hours by yourself on that court. And that's, by the way, that's the reason why pickleball's taken off, because tennis is just too tough to play. Let's dumb it down and put everybody out there on the pickleball court because nobody can do it. Pickleball.
If we've learned anything today, it's that Danny Parkins is completely wrong about how hard this job is. Do you realize what happens here every day? Well, our listeners do. Our viewers do. Steven knows.
I mean,
Steven and I live in our own little world where we cry at night.
Listen,
Tizapola.
to make this show entertaining every single day, 5 days a week, is a massive climb up the mountain, and we do it because we love it and we love you and we thank you, especially Tizapola.
That was a funny moment, by the way, because Parko was like, the last job I had, 4 hours of radio, was so hard, and I was about to back him up on it, and then he was just like, but what you guys do is easy. You have a foosball table. As if we don't also spend all that time prepping. And by the way, we have no breaks. We have breaks, but they're not really breaks.
Yeah, 4 hours of radio is harder than what we do. It just is. You know this.
It is, but they get 20 minutes of every hour to go to the bathroom.
That's true. I would thrive with bathroom breaks. If we could just get bathroom breaks, I could start to be good at this job. All we need is bathroom breaks. Can we get a t-shirt with that? Merch, bathroom breaks.
All we need is bathroom breaks?
All we need is bathroom breaks.
That's what your shirt's
We don't do
say?
bathroom breaks. How about that? No bathroom breaks.
We don't do bathroom breaks. Put it on a t-shirt.
Sans bathroom. ALLCITY.
Carm still does. What he needs to. Tizapola, $10. I'm working 2 jobs to pay for school. Listening to Carm and an episode of Cobra Kai in a week are my only enjoyment. I'm using my free time to mow the lawn, meal prep, and let Carm know that I love him.
Tizapola, I love you.
Starting to get a little creeped out by Tizapola.
I'm not creeped out at all. In fact, if Tizapola wants to come to Camp Nebagamon this summer, he's welcome and invited. I got room in the cabin. Jack and the kids would love that.
And again, that'll be the entire month of August for those wondering when that's.
I'll be gone 6 days. And 3 days for the open. 9 days. Can't accord.
Arctic, $5. I'm on your side, Carm. Not sure why most people bent the knee to Caleb. For me, jury is still out. I feel like the best quarterback should play. Bajent.
Yeah, he ain't going to be playing, but we'll see what he does next year for whatever team he's on.
Caleb, please, $5. Iowa student here, Carm. I always joke how Hawkeyes and Bears are the same team for the past 4 years. Hoping Chicago can break the no offense curse for us.
Listen.
All they got to do is play the Wisconsin Badgers, and they'll score 40.
Yeah. Training camp's only a handful of weeks away. And if they progress like they did in OTAs, damn it, you might get what you want. Go Hawkeyes. Was just there for my first ever Hawkeye baseball game. I didn't go there for the Hawkeye baseball game, but I was in town and I went to a Hawkeye baseball game. Stopped at the Hamburg.
Is that while you're doing mornings in Des Moines? Which, by the way, that's where Carm's going to be working Monday.
Mornings in Des Moines. Can you imagine?
It does make me feel better. Danny texted us and said fun times.
Okay.
I feel better that he'll come back now.
Yeah. Morning. Think about this, though, just for a minute. And I know that, listen, for real, this is a dream gig for all of us here, and we hope that it lasts forever. However, taking that out of the equation, you live in Des Moines, Iowa. Cost of living is next to, half of here, maybe even 60% less than here. You do a couple of hours of morning radio. What do you want to talk about today? Cubs, Bears, Royals, Chiefs, Lions, like everybody. And then you go and you go to your local health club. You play golf. You put on your, you put on the old tube. You hang out. That does not sound like a terrible life there, Hoge. You in Des Moines on some golf course, the whole family.
Take you inside this game a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to reveal something I probably should. We walked in here in about 10:45. We had nothing on our show today.
I was here at 10:30.
It's a miracle. Yeah, but we actually were 15 minutes into our meeting and still had nothing in the rundown.
We had everything in the rundown.
My point is this.
Yeah.
We ended up with Gervon Dexter and Danny Parkins, which was a great show. You think you're pulling that off in Des Moines? You're going to walk in there every single day being like, what the hell are we talking about? And Danny Parkins ain't coming out in Des Moines.
Okay. That's not true. Parkins will follow wherever. He loves Des Moines. Gervon Dexter loves Des Moines.
Swaggy McNolek says they still get CHSN free on the antenna in Des Moines.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm in.
McNolek.
I'm in. That's all I needed.
Everybody. What are people going to do with their antennas, by the way? Can you sell those on? Can you resell those on Facebook Marketplace and get $5 back? What do you think? I never opened mine.
Oh, I got mine all hooked up. I got it split to 2 TVs. I've been debating, do I just unplug it now, or is there still a world where I'll use it?
I'm going to try to sell mine on the marketplace for $3. This antenna that I
You can buy some green socks.
like these tennis socks.
All right.
All right, we can go. We've got a big show tomorrow.
We do. Teddy Albrecht, former Bear, Northwestern sideline why did I say that? Northwestern radio analyst is going to join us. He's got plenty of stories from being a Bear. He's got plenty of thoughts on this current team. He follows the team closely. So he'll be joining us on tomorrow's show. It should be a good one. As Braggs continues to be on vacation, shout out to him. Thanks to him for booking Gervon Dexter today. Thanks to Stephen Nicholas producing, as always. Appreciate Danny Parkins coming on and putting up with us as well. I'm going to go watch golf now, and I hope you guys all have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.